The pause screen camera controls in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate are incredibly impressive, providing more control and range than ever before. You can zoom in and out surprisingly far, and even swing the camera side to side to reveal far more in the environment than you'd ever see during normal gameplay. And it's often surprising just how much more there is to see beyond the screen's normal boundaries. While most of it isn't terribly noteworthy, we did stumble upon some pretty neat details that you wouldn't ordinarily see while playing the game. So here's our list of the top 10 secret off-screen details that we found in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, for stages both old and new. And let's start off with an oldie but a goodie, being an Easter egg hidden in the Mushroomy Kingdom stage. While the entire level is an homage to Super Mario Bros., it does feature one rather out-of-place element, but only if you know where to look. Because if you rotate the camera to see what lies beyond either the left or right edge of the screen, you'll uncover a prohibition sign, and it marks the point of no return, the blast zone. It's a warning to the fighters to stay away, although it's of no use to you, the player, as it's something you'll never see during actual gameplay. Neat! Now let's take a warp pipe into the future, all the way to... Yep, the Mushroomy Kingdom, which is designed to look just like the original World 1-1 from Super Mario Bros. Only now looking a little worse for the wear after having been abandoned for decades. And among the changes here is the fact that the warp pipes no longer work, even the ones they're supposed to. But as it turns out, that's for a good reason, because if you zoom in and tilt the camera, we can see that the warp pipes have actually been sealed off, which is something that's almost impossible to see during gameplay owing to the classic side-scrolling perspective. But come on, Mario's a plumber, isn't he? Surely this isn't enough to stop him. Okay, so this one's spoiled a bit by the stage selection screen, but the end result is still impressive. And first up is something that's hard to notice during actual gameplay, and that's the fact that if you rotate the camera, you'll find that it reveals the characters are actually flat, as if actually rendered on an LCD display. Pretty neat! But even more impressive is the fact that if you zoom the camera out, you'll discover that the entire stage takes place on an actual Game & Watch unit. And the attention to detail is immaculate, down to the bezeled widescreen display and the three-dimensional buttons, even including the indented ones to the side. Oh, and of course, this one's the Super Smash Bros. Model. Oh man, if only it actually existed. It doesn't take long to figure out that battles on the Figure 8 circuit take place during a live race, with the map in the background even displaying the real-time location of the racers. But when it comes to the gameplay itself, you only ever see a very small section of the track during the match. However, as you might have guessed by now, if you pause the game and rotate the camera to either side, you'll discover that you can actually see nearly the entire course. You'll find the top half of the 8 to the right, complete with these Nintendo Cloud billboards that are entirely off-screen, and to the left is the other half of the 8, where you'll find a garage and an entire audience section that you would never ordinarily see. Unfortunately, while you can't fully see the entire back half of the 8, you can spot most of it by zooming out as far as the camera allows. Yeah, we ate this one up. The Bridge of Eldin stage is back and looking more beautiful than ever, even if the bridge itself is incredibly simple, being flat and mostly unremarkable. However, if you rotate the camera all the way to either side, you'll find that the bridge is quite a bit more detailed than it might seem, featuring proper entranceways on both sides through which the King Bulbin actually uses to make his entrance and exit. Talk about detail. Yoshi's Island is a lovely little stage that even changes seasons as you play. But there is one little detail that you'll almost never see during actual gameplay. And it's out of this world. Literally. To see what we mean, just hit pause and look up toward the sky. There you'll find the moon that Yoshi battled Raphael the Raven on in the Yoshi's Island game itself. And it even features the 2 stumps that Yoshi needed to ground pound in order to defeat him. Pretty stellar, huh? So you've probably seen the black van in Onett, perhaps even up close. But what you probably haven't seen is the billboard warning you about it, because it's hidden off screen just beyond the stage's normal boundary on the right, which a quick pan for the pause screen will reveal, and it comes complete with legible text. And just beyond it is a building even farther off screen, which just so happens to be the arcade from Earthbound. Finally, if you move the camera even more, you'll even spot the tunnel that the cars emerge from, and this is true for both sides of the stage. Yeah, this town is packed full of details both on and off screen. Great Bay might just be one of the most beautiful and most impressively updated levels in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And as part of that update, not only does it retain the off-screen details from Super Smash Bros. Melee, but it even features some brand new ones too. So if we hit pause and move the camera so we can look to the left, we can first find some rocky ledges that can also be seen in Melee. But this time, they now lead to an alcove featuring an actual heart piece, just like in Majora's Mask. And this is entirely new to Ultimate. Panning a little farther left, we can see the Fisherman's Island, exactly where we'd expect to find it in the original game. And left of that is a large gated entrance into the Pirate's Fortress. But this time, it's received an impressive new design drawn on it. Except it's impossible to make out owing to the water level. Unless, that is, we take the camera underwater, which reveals it as a pair of crossed swords. Pretty neat. Now, if that isn't attention to detail, I don't know what is. As misplaced as it may be. Alright, so we're not just looking at the returning stages here, because the new ones have some pretty neat details too. In Dracula's castle, you've probably noticed a giant clock tower just outside. And if you keep an eye out, you might have just even barely spotted a gargoyle on top. But if you pause the game and turn the camera, you'll find that there are actually 2 gargoyles up there. And you can get a much better look at them by zooming in. And they're pretty menacing looking. You can also take the time to check out the tower spire, as well as another side of the clock tower, both of which you'd never see during an actual match. Finally, we end with the Great Plateau Tower stage, which offers an amazing view of the Hylian landscape. And yet, for as expansive as it appears during battle, there is so much more, which is fitting for a game as big as Breath of the Wild. First up is the fact that if you zoom out all the way and tilt the camera down, you can see that the entire tower is actually rendered, and all the way to the ground level of the Great Plateau itself, along with the plateau's walls and other nearby points of interest, like the lake and shrine here. And if you move the camera all the way to one side, you can just barely see the Shrine of Resurrection, which is where Link originally emerged from. And if we rotate to the other side, we can see the Twin Peaks. It's a big, big world. But I actually want to end on something a bit smaller. Way smaller. So small, in fact, that despite it lying in plain sight, it's nearly impossible to see during gameplay. Because do you see the podium in the middle of the tower? Well, if you zoom all the way in, you'll find that there's actually a Sheikah slate resting in it. Hey, maybe you can play Smash Bros. too? And there you have it, the top 10 secrets hidden off screen that we could find in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But have you found any others of your own? Let us know by posting in the comments below. And with that, thanks for watching. And make sure to click on the subscribe button for more on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and everything else Nintendo.